friends, and welcome to the chaos that is my house at the moment. About a year ago, I did a video titled "This 1940s Cleaning Routine Changed My Life," and it truly did. Vintage cleaning routines have literally changed my life in terms of being able to keep up with a home. Today we're gonna go through the cleaning routine that I always come back to, especially when I have been working a lot, I haven't had time to keep up with my house, and things just feel like they're falling apart. I have done multiple cleaning videos on vintage cleaning routines, but the one that I always come back to, and some of you may predict this, is America's Housekeeping book. I think this is the essential homemaking book for anyone who is looking to have it all written out for you. I always come back to this book, and at first it might feel like a lot, but there are a couple of core takeaways that I have always maintained with the routines that I learned from America's Housekeeping book, and I wanted to share them with all of you as we go through my house and pick up my life. Because I want to share with you how even when it feels like everything is falling apart, and I know how that feels because I've lived my entire life feeling that way, you can still maintain a home that feels comfortable, that is clean, and you deserve a clean space. So we're going to take this book, I'm going to tell you the principles that I have learned from it, which I still apply to this day, and I have applied for a long time, and they always work for me. And we're gonna clean my house, and I hope that you enjoy it. Before you get into the actual routine, I highly recommend putting together a cleaning basket. This is also detailed in my routine over on Ko-Fi if you want it, but I have everything I might need for each room, including Windex, window cleaner, wood polish, a dusting cloth, a cloth to go with the wood polish, paper towels, some scrapers in case there are weird things on the floor, a broom, carpet powder, gloves, a bag for garbage, anything you think you might need in this little basket. It's so convenient to just grab it and then go through the house. This will keep you from running back and forth throughout your house. And I also always bring in my broom, and of course in the living room we have the vacuum. The order of cleaning for the living room is to first open up any windows and curtains to let in light or air out the rooms, and then pick up and put away all of the small articles belonging in the room, get them off of the floor and off of the coffee table and any other surfaces. I am putting away the laundry, as you can see, and I also prefer to straighten up the couches first. This gives me that little hit of dopamine that I need to keep going, and I mean, the couches are a large part of the living room, so when they are tidied up, it really helps make the rest of the room seem less overwhelming to attack. A lot of you are asking about this couch cover when I made over the living room, and so I will link it down below. It is off of Amazon. I'm really liking it. It is big enough to cover our giant couch. It's really easy to wash. My kids have been making a lot of forts lately, so there were a bunch of blankets to put away today, and we have a little blanket chest behind the couch where they all go. So I am folding those up and putting them away to get the big things out of the way. That is another tip I have for you if you get easily overwhelmed by cleaning, is to find all of the biggest things and put those away first. That makes it seem so much easier to then tackle all the little things. As you can see, when I am tidying up, I don't really put things away if I've gotten them off of the couch. I tend to just toss them onto the floor. That's mainly for toys, but I also picked up some of the laundry that had been folded over here to put away. This is the only time I have left the room, is to put away laundry. Otherwise, anything that does not belong into the room goes into this little cleaning basket, which you see here, which is a suggestion in the 1940s house cleaning book. to have a tray or a basket or something within which you can put anything that does not belong in the room so that you're not leaving the room. And then I will clean out underneath the TV stand, which I do about once a week, picking up any rogue laundry that might have fallen out of the basket or off the couch. And then we're finally taking out everything that does not belong in the room, including the trash and the basket of things. Then I'm going to dust, and I have this little dusting mat. It is from Norwex, but I'm pretty sure you can find similar ones on Amazon. And then I am just replacing the decorations, as you do, and cleaning off the coffee table as well, which needs to be reset. I've only recently begun to use carpet powder, and it has made our carpets feel and look so much fresher. I will link this one down below. It is a lavender scent, and it's just so nice. You leave it for about 10 minutes before you vacuum, and it just helps keep the carpets fresh. I believe it is a bug repellent as well, so that is really nice. I recently replaced my cordless vacuum because it eventually died on us, and I'm really liking this one. I kind of wish I had gotten it in the lavender color, but I needed a vacuum quicker than that one would arrive, so white is perfectly fine, but I still think it would be very cute if it was a lavender color. One of my other tips, which is not in the vintage cleaning routine, is to store your bigger appliances like vacuums or brooms or whatever where you use them the most. And we only use our vacuum in the living room, so I just keep it by the TV. It's not necessarily very aesthetic, but it is useful and convenient. Now I am going to clean off the hearth, and I'm putting the laundry where I normally would sit in order to fold it, because I will do that later. Dusting off the hearth and laying out the fire is one of the last things that you do in the room, and it's still a little bit too warm to have a fire in here, but I did absolutely need to sweep the hearth, and I am for now just sweeping all of the ash and things that have come from the fireplace back into the fireplace. We will have my husband clean it out later. And with all of that done, we are finished in the living room, and it is time to move on to the dining room. Let's take a little break and talk about the sponsor of today's video, who is Spanx. Now, I didn't know this, and I don't know if you know this, but Spanx actually has more than just shapewear. They have really elevated everyday wear that is all perfect for going to the office, school drop-off, working out, just everyday life. And I was really surprised to learn this. They have jeans. Now, if you know me primarily for the fact that I wear skirts and dresses pretty much all the time. And part of the reason is I can never find a good pair of jeans. So I opted to try these Spanx Everywhere jeans to see if they would hold up to the shape that I wanted, the style that I wanted, the comfort that I want. And I took them with me on vacation. And when I tell you that these were the pants, this was the garment that I wanted to wear the entire vacation, I am not kidding you. Was a little skeptical about these jeans because there is no zipper. There's no buttons. It is just a stretchy waistband. And your girl has some hips, which often I cannot get clothing over, but these were actually very, very comfortable. They are made from 4-way stretch denim. They provide a medium compression, so if you're someone like me where you maybe have a little bit of core issues, you want something that's a little more supportive throughout the day, the Everywhere jeans could be a great option for you. I also opted to try the mid-thigh bodysuit because I have a couple of date night dresses that are bodycon, and I just really wanted something to smooth out lines and get rid of visible panty line, and I also just feel a lot more comfortable if I have a little bit of compression going on, and these are so comfortable. I kind of forgot that I was wearing it. And if you are a mom and you also have saggy skin or an apron belly or whatever, you probably know that it actually feels kind of nice to have these under a little bit of compression, especially if you're working out. The Spanx Shape Booty Boost collection, specifically their leggings, which are again a medium compression, the perfect kind of holding you in while you're working out and exercising leggings. I have been looking for leggings like this forever, but they're never tight enough for me because I bounce around a lot when I'm working out, okay? They have a phone pocket, which is important for me because I do try to track my steps when I'm taking walks. Plus, there's no center seam, so there's no awkward lines, which is absolutely great. So if you would like to try Spanx out for yourself, you can use my code on screen here for 15% off of your first purchase, or go down in the link down in the description, or try the QR code if that is more your speed, and enjoy yourself some nice light compression, some everyday wear essentials, some amazing jeans, or just a body sculpting bodysuit. Whatever your body needs and whatever you love and feel comfortable with, I am sure you will find it with Spanx. I have been using them for years, and let's get back into it. The method for cleaning the dining room is very similar to the living room. You will want to pick up and put away anything that belongs in the room. However, generally there's not much on the floor or misplaced in this room that does belong in here. Because it is a pass-through space, the table becomes a drop zone and the kids kind of just drop stuff on this floor. There's always a lot going on in this room. But I prefer to clear off the table first, and I absolutely am using my hand broom to sweep all of the dry cereal onto the floor. It just makes life easier. I know not everybody likes this method, and I got yelled at the last time that I used a broom on the table, but I don't really care because I'm going to spray it down and wipe it anyway. So the table does get thoroughly disinfected. Do not worry. Then I will clean the table, and side note, I swear these vintage tables are so much easier to clean than any other table I've ever had. We have gotten paint on this table, we've gotten hot glue on this table, we've gotten nail polish on this table, we've gotten like food stains on this table. Anything and everything that we have so far gotten on this table, and it seems like it might not comes off just fine. I don't know what it is about these old tables, but things really were just made to last so much longer back then, and I love this table. I think it's beautiful, it's easy to clean. If you ever have the opportunity to buy or take a vintage table like this, definitely get it. It is by far one of the best things I've ever done for this room. So I added back the decor that's supposed to be on the table, and then moved on to sweeping. And this is my own personal method. This is not a vintage cleaning routine method, but when I was pregnant a long time ago and I couldn't bend over and reach the floor, I came up with the method of sweeping everything into a pile and then sitting down and sorting. And I no longer actually sit down to sort things, but I do still sweep everything into a pile. And in this room, like I said, there's always a lot going on because it is a pass-through space to literally everywhere else. You get into the kitchen, the pantry, the living room, the kids' room, our room, the laundry room, the bathroom. All of it is off of this room. So there just inevitably is a trail of things everywhere with 7 people in the house. This room the floor in this room gets messy the quickest. But once I have swept everything into a pile and dealt with it, I will then move on to the buffet, which was not actually that messy today. This is another zone that becomes a drop zone, and I tried to have a bowl over here so that people can put stuff into the bowl, but that doesn't always work. It usually just ends up on the buffet, especially craft supplies, because I keep them in this buffet. Lastly, I will move on to the china cabinet, which again is another drop zone, and I'm just clearing off a few of the things were left here, and then the dining room is done. I just got my first ever royalty payments for my book. I'm sorry, I sat down to talk about something else, but I just got my first ever royalty payments for my book, and it feels unreal. I have sold just over 800 copies. I think I'm somewhere like 170 copies away from 1,000 sold, and it's been 2 months. I don't really have any benchmark for what is good. I just know that I would love to sell 1,000 copies. I would love to do that. I had the initial goal of paying myself back within the first month, and I did that. And now my goal is just to get to 1,000 copies, and from there, I don't know. I really want to put out another book. Anyway, that's not what I sat down to talk about. So I want to do a super honest check-in. I get a lot of comments on these videos whenever I do a cleaning routine of people who are amazed that I can do so much in so little time. A big part of my own neurodivergence and a lot of people who are similar to me is that we all struggle with executive dysfunction in the form of seeing everything that needs to be done, thinking, I have to get all of this done all at once. It is all stacked up like a wall of bricks that you have to knock down. So I really love vintage cleaning routines because it lays it all out. It organizes all of the things that I need to do in a way that I don't have to utilize my mental energy to do these things, so then I have more physical energy. However, I was really hoping I could get this all done today, but I'm not sure that it would be wise for me to do so. I want you all to understand that you don't have to do it all in one day. I think one of the most unrecognized and very important things, especially for neurodiverse people and people with chronic issues, is to rest and to take care and to give yourself permission to leave something for the next day. It's okay to leave mess for later. Mess is morally neutral. You are not a bad person because you leave mess because you need to take care of your body and rest. It's okay to leave some dirty dishes for later. It's not going to hurt the dishes to sit there for another day. It might be annoying, but it's not going to hurt the dishes. So yes, I wanted to check in. I wanted to remind you in the middle of this video that it's okay and important to take rest, to take care of your body, and that it's okay, it's perfectly fine to leave your dishes in the sink for one more day, or leave your laundry unfolded for one more day, or leave whatever task it is for a little bit longer and take some rest so that you don't burn yourself out and you don't put yourself into more physical pain or mental exhaustion. I'm gonna go rest. I think I'm gonna go work on my next book. Maybe later today I will feel better and I will get the kitchen done, or maybe it'll be tomorrow, but I will see you whenever that is. So one of the things within all of my vintage homemaking books and all of the routines that they have is to schedule at least 2 hours in the day for time for you to follow your creative pursuit. And so I am taking this time to work on figuring out what I want to do next with my writing. As I mentioned, I got my very first royalty payments for my book, The Devil and the Midwife, which is a Scottish Highlands romance set in the 1720s. And if you want more plus-size representation in your life, if you liked the vibes of Outlander but want less trauma, if you love the Scottish Highlands, if you are really interested in Call the Midwife but you wanted it to be in a different era, if you like arranged marriage tropes, all of the things, I think you will like my book. I have had people who don't even read romance say they loved it. decide where to go with my writing. I could write another Scottish Highlands romance. I do have another idea in my head. But I also could pursue the Edwardian romance novels that I have half written. Or I could try to write the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale that has been in my head since I was 16. I wrote it when I was 16 and I really like some of the concepts that this story had. So lately I have been working on it, trying to bring it back to life, trying to really flesh out the world. And I don't know. I don't know where I want to go next, which is kind of exciting. The world is my oyster, as they say. I have been trying to make it a habit to write every day, and even if it's just one sentence, it's still worth sitting down to do. So whatever it is that you love to do, make sure you're giving yourself a little bit of time to do it every single day, because you deserve to enjoy your life. Hello friends, so it is the next day. I took most of yesterday just to rest. I cannot stress enough how having this routine has just changed my homemaking, my energy levels. Cleaning used to be so overwhelming. Trying to figure out a routine and trying to figure out how to keep up a house used to feel so incredibly overwhelming and impossible to me. But ever since I have started doing just the little change of starting in the living room, specifically starting with the couches, making those look nice, and then moving this way, for some reason it has just completely changed the game for me, and it no longer feels like a massively overwhelming task to get started on this routine. Yeah, today I'm going to tackle the kitchen. This is always the most overwhelming part to me because there's a lot of dishes to be hand washed. But I think I'm probably going to watch some of my favorite YouTube creators. I'm really enjoying Haley Post, and I have found a couple of new people. I will try to put their names on the screen here if I remember. I found a couple of new channels that I'm really excited to dive into because they look really cute. And then I think my friend Stephanie Canada has a new video out. So this is the time that I either use to listen to a really good audiobook or catch up on all of the content creators that I really love and haven't been able to watch lately. So I'm going to have my headphones on so that I don't get flagged for any copyright, and let's get into it. This is where I am departing from the vintage routine a little bit because there were so many dishes. Normally when I come in, I would be stacking the dishes first and then wiping down other surfaces and following the general routine of cleaning out the fridge and collecting all the garbage and wiping down surfaces. But because I had so many dishes, I just needed to get those out of the way first. So that was my first priority of this day. I started cleaning around 10:30, and it was actually a really nice time of being able to watch a few creators that I have discovered. Here I'm watching Veronica Leafless, and she makes really cozy, very lovely slow living videos. So if you are looking for more creators to follow, go peek at her channel. But it has become one of my favorite things to do now, to wash the dishes and listen to an audiobook or catch up with my favorite content creators or look out the window at my sunflowers. We are enjoying the last few days of summer here, and the weather is getting cooler, and this is my favorite time of year. Once I have gotten enough dishes done that the sinks are clear, I will usually stack the rest of the dishes in the sink and then clean off the other countertops. But I was in such a groove here with washing the dishes. There's something so satisfying about cleaning out a sink entirely and seeing it all shiny and clean. This is one tip that I heard from, I think, Fly Lady, to always leave your sink shining at the end of the day, and it really does help. So now I am moving on to the countertop beside the oven, and as you can see, I did actually keep this fairly clean because this is where we prepare food most of the time, but I still needed to wipe down the stove and just make sure everything was shiny and fresh. And then I needed to wash off my teapot because it's been a while since I did that. This is from Enamel Happy on Etsy. I saw it on Haley Post's videos. She has a yellow one, and I just immediately fell in love once I realized they had a pink one. It has been totally worth the money to get it from a small business. The kitchen table becomes a drop zone, as with pretty much any flat surface in my house, and so I generally clean that off last. As you can see here, I am still clearing out little bits and pieces from the Hobbit Day video. What can I say? And lastly, I swept the floors. I will let my husband mop the floors later. That is one of his favorite jobs to do, and I really hate mopping, so quando o piano já não quer mais tocar e as teclas pretas não saem do lugar. After sweeping the floors, the kitchen is finally done. I'm going to leave the dishes to air dry, and it feels so good to be done. Well, friends, that is me done for the day and for this video. It is 11:57, so it took me just about an hour and a half to clean the rest of the kitchen. There is still some mopping to do, and of course the dishes to put away, but those I will let my husband do because my foot is flaring up. I hope that this video was encouraging to you or helpful to you as you figure out how to take care of your home and give yourself the safe and comfortable and tidy space that you deserve. I know that sometimes it can be incredibly difficult to get over the mental blocks with neurodivergence, or if you have physical disabilities or energy issues, as I am going through. It can be so incredibly hard to keep up with it all, especially if you are working or you have young children. If you want one of these vintage cleaning routines for yourself, I have them available on my Ko-Fi, which is linked down below in the description. You just need to click it open and find Ko-Fi. They are free, or donate what you want. It's nothing fancy, but I tried to list out a modern version of all of the vintage cleaning routines that I have done. One of the things that has really helped me reframe doing housework is to not call it chores or housework, but to call it home care tasks, because in caring for my environment, I am taking care of myself. And I think that that is very important. We all deserve a safe, comfortable, homey, beautiful space that brings us joy and is not overwhelming. And if you are caring for your home, you are caring for yourself. So with all of that said, I'm going to go rest, hoping that in the next few weeks my foot will finally heal up all the way and I can be back to normal. I hope you have all enjoyed this month of extra content. I have really enjoyed making the videos this month. It has been so much fun. Yeah, that is it. I hope, as always, that wherever you are feeling safe and loved, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Oh, you know, I probably shouldn't have kissed the lens. Now it's a little smudgy. Oh well.
Todo mundo cantar a capela, porque a orquestra vai parar.